how's it going out there? This is Chris and...
No!
Yep. Coming at you one more time. We actually wanted to talk about something a little bit different. We have toys out. We have figures out. We're not really going to talk about the toys. Yeah, we do want to talk about Ninja Turtles, but we've seen some people go back and forth and talk about,
Say which one is the best and the other ones are stupid and we don't think that.
Yes, which is the best Ninja Turtle cartoon. We just kind of wanted to go over them and kind of discuss what we liked about them. We're going to start with is the original cartoon that came out in 1987.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power.
That animation for that intro for the 1997 Ninja Turtles cartoon that I used to watch, that intro was absolutely the best. The song, the theme, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that stayed with me forever. I find myself randomly on a weekly basis just humming that in my head or something because it just stuck with me. But the animation and it was incredible.
You mean the animation like this?
Yeah, like having them, the way that they jump out of the turtle van. And the original Ninja Turtle series that came out in 1987 is the one that I was exposed to. My brother and I, I still have all of our original Ninja Turtles from that series. These are all the originals. We loved that series. Yeah, that's the original. Shredder. We loved that series. It ran for almost 10 years, or about 10 years. 1987 to 1996. I loved it. It was the one that we got introduced to. In this series, I believe Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. This was probably the only series I think that they actually wrote for. The other ones that came later on, they may have executive produced or been involved in some way, but I believe they actually wrote some items for this particular show. What I like about this show, and actually I found out later on, but that it was Rob Paulson who ends up voicing Raph in this series, comes back to
voice Donnie
in the 2012 series, which is really cool. What I find interesting is the origin story is pretty much the same across all of the Ninja Turtle shows, but changes slightly. Like, for example, in this version of the show, which was different from the original comic, Splinter is mutated from a man who spends too much time with rats, and so that DNA gets mixed in, and he ends up mutating from a man into a giant rat. And that's what they did with this series. They changed it in some of the other series, or they changed it back, I should say. But if you guys want more information, really look at Season 3, Episode 1 of The Toys That Made Us. And they really go into how this series came to play. Really about the toys and stuff, but they talk about that series, and it's super interesting.
We're fantastic, never panic. Ninja Turtles.
So the next thing we're going to talk about is in 1997 there was a live action show that aired after the movies had come out, the live action movies, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Next Mutation. Now, I don't have any of the figures here. I only actually got, I believe, one figure, which was the Venus figure, which that was the kind of cool thing about that show, is they introduced a female Ninja Turtle. And I know there were people that didn't like that. They didn't like a female Ninja Turtle. I thought it was kind of cool just having something different.
I know one person that didn't like it. That was Peter Laird. That's when he broke up with his friend Kevin Eastman.
I think they had an argument as to how much they were willing to allow what they created to change. So I think there was some fallout there. And then again, if you check out, toys that made us. Actually, there might be another video about the history of the Ninja Turtles that goes into that a little bit deeper. But again, that show, it was cheesy. It was cheesy. It wasn't like the original 1990 Ninja Turtle live action movie, which was really kind of dark, and the live action show was a little bit cheesy. But it was meant for kids, and I enjoyed it. I mean, I didn't see every single episode. And I didn't really even follow the toy line. I didn't really like it as much. One thing that I thought was really cool about that show was that they did a crossover with Power Rangers Lost in Space, I think it was. And there was an episode where they were pulled in, and they ended up, I think, fighting against the Power Rangers first and then becoming their friends. That was a really cool part of the show where,
And now
they
we're
did
getting
crossover.
we're getting that coming back now in comics. We don't know if that's going to be a movie yet.
Yeah, that's true. There is now a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers comic. This is just Power Rangers, but there's a new comic that's come out where the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Power Rangers work together. And the coolest thing about that is, and we'll talk about that when we cover comics, but the fact that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles get to morph into the Power Rangers, it's cool. Anyway, so that series followed the original origins of the movies. So Splinter was a rat that was mutated, and the turtles, they all got large. But it was still cool enough where you had something live action.
I love that toy line.
I like it. Maybe not my favorite, but definitely still kind of brought some cool things to the whole mythology of Ninja Turtles. Excuse us when we take a pizza break. So good. You like it? It's good. This is Jay's Pizza.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Turtles counted on 1, 2, 3, 4. Turtles. Mutant chain reaction. Living underground. Ninjutsu action. It's a shell of a town.
What's cool about this version of the Ninja Turtles, their stories were more like from the comic books. So they weren't. This was fun, but this was just a lot of fun. That's all it really was.
This is more like comics.
Yeah, a lot of the storylines, is from what I understand, were taken from the comics. A very, very interesting development in the show. They were a little bit darker. People died in some of the shows, but it was good. It was a good show. That intro that that we were listening to. 1, 2, 3, 4, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was catchy too. And the fact that they kept referring back to the four brothers. And again, the animation.
It even says their personalities in the song quickly.
Yeah. And the animation on the show was pretty good too. It was better than especially the last seasons of the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The animation was great on that show.
They have like a lot. They had this type, then they had the other type where they're spirits, and then we have the other type when they go to the future. Then they go to tech, and then you go with them to have pupils in their eyes this time and coloring.
That show took place like you were saying they had seven seasons. What was cool is that in one of those seasons they did go to the future to the year 2105, in which they met. I think it was Casey and April's great grandson.
No,
great grandson.
Son.
No, is it son? Are you sure? I think it was further down. I don't remember.
Oh yeah. Wait, if he.
I don't think it was their son. I think it was their great grandson or something. Because it's a long time in the future.
Yeah.
But it was cool when they did go into the future because they did have the other suits. It was a good show. We enjoyed it. A lot of cool little elements. Like I said, they did the Battle Nexus and they did all kinds of storylines that were from the comics. So they had a lot of stuff that they really brought into it. It was really
These
good.
guys are basically like this. The Battle Nexus, they have Battle Nexus.
Yeah, they took a lot of different elements as the show continued. But this show was really cool. The theme song was really cool. The fact that they changed the theme song as the show progressed, like when they went to the future, they changed the theme song. Then when they came back, they changed the song again for the 7th season. The original theme song was talking about 1, 2, 3, 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then when they went to the future, it was fast forward, and then they broke out the Ninja Turtles, and they kept repeating fast forward. So it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fast forward, and then the theme song got changed again to Back to the Sewer, and so they were going back. They brought back some of the technology, and unfortunately, in that version. The Shredder comes back and he's now digitized, so they have to become digitized so they can fight him in a digital world, which is kind of cool because at the time, there were a lot of these shows and a lot of elements talking about the internet and us going on the internet and saving information and being able to communicate. That blew up really, right, in the late 90s, early 2000s, and being able to communicate over the internet and stuff.
And in that show, we saw lots of pictures. Like you'll see a picture of them pause about to fight, and then you'll see a picture pause again fighting.
Yeah, they changed the animation style, which was really good. One thing I really liked about this show, or the way that they changed this show, was the Shredder. The Shredder in this show was an Ultron. He wasn't a human. That would be one of the reasons why he was so good at what he was doing, because he actually was an alien. from the Ultron world, and the elements that they brought into the show just to help fight Shredder and bring on other Ultrons who were also trying to fight him. I thought that was really cool. It was really different to see that take on it.
That Krang is another type of species as Ultron, but bad guy. I don't think they even mentioned Krang in this.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay, so now we're going to go to the 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV show, which was called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the previous ones. And I have to say, this action line we have a whole bunch of these. We just can't find them all right now, but this is the one. I have to say, personally, I grew up with these. I absolutely love them. I love the movies. This is probably my favorite version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and for multiple reasons. One, my son was born in 2011. This show came out in 2012, and he grew up watching it with me. So every day that there was a new episode, I would sit him down next to me, and even though he was just a baby, I bought him toys. I shouldn't have, but I bought him toys. But I sat him down next to me, and I'm having him watch the show with me. And I really enjoyed the show because there was that feeling of family, of growing up, those brothers being together. And I had that with my brother. I have that with my brother, I should say. And then just the storyline. The stories were impactful. They were beautiful. I think the animation was done great. I know it was a computer, it was CGI, but it was just the great way that they were doing the show. And then the stories, to me, more than anything, the stories and the way they did the callbacks. There are callbacks to almost everything Ninja Turtle related that I could think of. From the original TV show to the previous versions of the show to
movies.
To movies. You know, one of the great things that I liked is things that I remembered about watching the cartoons and watching the movies growing up. When I'm watching the 2012 version of the show, they're doing these callbacks, and it's stuff that just I know where that came from. That came from the movie, or they came from the old show. And like a perfect example was just Tokka. You know, Tokka in the original movies
is a turtle. Tokka.
So we got Tokka, and they did a version where they go into space and they come back, and Tokka ends up coming to Earth, and Tokka's this huge giant monster like Godzilla.
She's a cosmic monster.
And it's a female, and she's after something that Raph has that he's been taking care of, and it's her baby. But I mean, just those things were just amazing. And then like Razar, you know, Razar was from the movie again, and I'm like, well, how are they gonna bring? And they did it. You know, they had a character named Dog Pound that then was mutated again, and it mutated into Razar. I mean, all of these kind of things were just great. The way that they did this show.
Dog Pound.
There's Dog Pound. Dog Pound who mutates into Razar. Right, from Bradford, right? Bradford was a
Chris Bradford.
Chris Bradford was
martial arts. Chris Bradford was also another villain that he was like a robot. He had a mask, he had a red suit, and he was like buffed up. Yeah. And Mikey didn't know that until now.
And you see, and that was the great thing is that you see the beginnings of the Turtles again, but you see how kid-like they are, how they just look at the world with wonder, and their master Splinter has to teach them about the world, and it's amazing to see that father-son relationship there as he's trying to teach them, and they're learning lessons as they go along, which I think is great. All kinds of callbacks to Star Trek and some cheesiness of old shows, even their own cheesiness. Really just great callbacks to movies, to the other shows, and just the different lessons. And for me, one of my favorite things about the show was Master Splinter. The fact that they started him as a human, and they give him a huge backstory and allow him to not only protect and teach the Turtles growing up, but then he finds out that his daughter, who he thought was dead, actually turns out to be Karai, who is now the daughter of Shredder, his enemy. So in the show, he has to convince her that he is his father, and they have to convince her that you're our sister. We love you. We want you to be, don't fight against us. Be part of us. We're family. And it's beautiful how you see that transition. And there's all kinds of moments that just, they take a deep dive, and it hurts to watch. And at the same time, there's so many things where there's some beautiful moments in the show as well. I will have to say that it hurt a lot when this show ended. I understand why they did it. They wanted to move on with something different. This show was my favorite, especially because I shared it a lot with my son. But what was cool about this show too is, as the season progressed, even the theme song. I love the theme song. The theme song for me is awesome because it's kind of like a hip hop version of a Ninja Turtles, and I kind of like that. And the animation for that intro is really cool, but then they change it up as well as the seasons progress. And when they do the later seasons, they change it again.
Every single time in Tales of the Ninja Turtles, what the whole episode's gonna be about, they show like what the turtles are gonna look like when they met. What was the rabbit's name? Usagi.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the turtles in the helmets and armor. And then when they did the thing where they came to see them, I think there was like 3 episodes with them. They come to see them. Yeah. Oh, 4 episodes, right? Yeah. Space.
Yeah, they're you know, like they did the Turtles Forever movie with this version of the Turtles. They kind of did the same thing with this version of the Turtles, where they meet their original counterparts, and it's kind of cool the way that they do it, passing through dimensions.
And we also see them find the Source Turtles too,
yeah.
Donnie and Donnie.
Yeah. So it was a really cool show. I really liked it. Like I was saying, the theme song, as the show progressed, they changed the show. They didn't really change the name of the show, but they, instead of calling it Ninja Turtles, they called it, or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they called it Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So there were like these smaller mini stories that they were telling, which I thought was a cool idea. The theme song was changed so that, like Luke was saying, there's nobody singing, nobody rapping, nothing. It was kind of like a jazzy rock kind of theme. No lyrics, no words. It was just the way that the music was playing. I thought it was really well done, and it really just introduces you real quick. It's assuming you already know who the Turtles are, so it's just giving you real quick glimpses of them, while it's kind of introducing or showing at least some of the enemies that they had. So I thought it was really, really well done. Again, my favorite version of the Ninja Turtles. I really like it. Now we're going to talk about the 2018 version of Ninja Turtles called Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I like this show. I think it's funny. I think it's the animation is completely different.
It's all pictures.
The fight scenes, the fight sequences that they do are incredible. I mean, it's definitely animation. It's kind of like a Jap anime version of Ninja Turtles in the sense that some of those fight scenes are kind of like that, whereas the previous versions were trying to be not necessarily realistic. I mean, you got giant turtles walking around, but I mean the choreographed movements were more, you know, what you would see in an actual, you know, fight scene in a martial arts movie. These are done where, you know, things are flying through the air, they're flying, all kinds. But it's very funny. I think the show is actually pretty funny.
And there's something funny is when the turtles are being like thrown. It's like their paws in the air, and then you see like the villains hit them quickly. Yeah.
And I really like, what I like about the show is, again, they did the origin story of Splinter, where he was human before he was turned, or he was mutated. The fact that his name is Lu Jitsu, I think that's hilarious. I love it. I think it's a great version. It's a completely different take. Even the mutation, how the mutation happened. You know, the previous versions were, it was an accident. There was a canister of ooze that went down and it turned them. Whereas this version, it looks like, you know, they have an actual creator who created them, which I thought, you know, it's a different take. But not to say that it's
a different take.
Yeah.
So this is not Splinter that raises them. First of all, Baron Draxum, our new villain, who's not Shredder. Shredder's not going to be in the first season. It's sad. But he's our new Shredder villain, and what appears to happen, he's going out into the new world. He's grabbing stuff to make a yokai, which now they're called yokai, like they were called in this series, and making them being able to attack the surface. And one thing, he finds 4 turtles. Lujetsu, he gets captured. He's looking at the turtles, and then what happens is, you see Baron Draxum have lots of creatures all over the place. Some of them you might recognize. Because in one episode where he fights Big Mama, a big spider that's like spider bites from them, you see Bebop and Rocksteady looking, we might get them. And we see a giraffe. We see the shark guy from them, from space, Armagon?
Armagon?
Yeah, Armagon. Yeah, you see lots of villains, and we think we might get them in season 2. For the season finale of the first season, we see him taking over Shredder's shredded armor. He's not looking like that. His face is printed on his. But imagine a big bulky Shredder. And throughout the season 1, all episodes are basic. The first episode wasn't about the crystal, but then when you get on to the later where the first season is about to end, you see them fighting the crystals, and the turtles are they suck at this stuff. They're all over the place, and in any of the episodes, they never catch one of his pieces. Only One Piece Bear and Draxon left behind. That's the only thing they catch.
So the show is interesting because it goes back to the origin of the Ninja Turtles. Again, like the other shows, they talk about the origin, but this one really goes. That's why it's called Rise of the Teenage Mutant, because they're still beginning. They don't know how to fight properly or work together as a team. They like to goof off a lot.
One thing that's different is that Raph is the leader.
Raph is the leader. That's the other thing. They changed that up. It's always been Leo. Leo has always been the leader in all the previous versions, but in this version of the show, Raph is now the leader. He leads the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He's much larger than the rest of them. What we both thought was really cool about this show is the turtles are different species of turtles, and they call them out. And
Raph is a snappy turtle. Donnie is a soft shell. All of these turtles are real in real life. Leo is a red slider, and Mikey is a box turtle.
And Mikey's a box turtle. So that was really cool, is that they actually called these out and changed the style of the turtles. Each one of them is a little bit different, and you can really tell when you see the show that they have different features and stuff like that. So that's really cool. They changed the mythology of the show in that, again, the turtles aren't, well, they're kind of raised by Lujitsu or Splinter now.
They don't have the same weapons. Raph has Tonfas.
And that's the other
Donnie
thing.
has a tech bow staff. Leo has one sword that can open the portal, and Mikey has these Crisari Fundo, and Leo's is a ginormous sword.
Yeah. So their weapons have changed. They're no longer the traditional weapons that we've seen before. They've got these new mystical weapons.
Except for Donnie.
Except for Donnie. Donnie didn't want anything new. He relies on his tech, which is cool. I mean, he's got his tech stuff. And I feel like they really they changed Donnie so that he kind of matches the Donnie Ninja Turtle from the newest movies that came out, because he's got goggles and headphones and all his tech and everything.
That's not headphones.
Oh, what is this?
That's part of his goggles.
Oh, it's part of his goggles. Well, he's just got a bunch of tech that he uses.
He has lots of, since he's a soft shell turtle, his shell's not really hard as the rest of them show. He has battle shells on him. He has spider ones, he has flying ones, and in season 2, the first episode, we see all of his battle shells all coming off of him, beating Shredder.
These are all the shows that so far have come out for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I know you guys have your favorites too, and you have your reasons why. Like I said, this is my favorite. Luke, I think right now, Rise of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is his favorite. I think it doesn't matter. I think they're all great. They're all cool in their own way. They all offer something different. We all grew up at different times, and we grew up with something that we loved, and we loved it at the time. And now, that we're older and we're seeing different versions, whatever you like is what you like, and that's okay. So I think if you're into the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and you only think that that's the only version, well, that's cool. You can still watch that cartoon. You can watch those old episodes. If you're into the 2003 version, where they go into the future, they come back into the sewer, they get digitized and everything, that's a cool version of it. The 2012 version, if you have the live action, and live action is your version because that's what you grew up at and that's what you enjoyed, that's cool with me. I like that too. I think they're all cool. I don't think there's anything wrong with any of them. I mean, in essence, there's shows about family, there's shows about connection, there's shows about brothers, family connecting, fighting with each other, but fighting for each other. I think all of that is cool. That's a cool idea.
We've been seeing lots of people not arguing about these guys, but arguing about Rice, and because they think it's silly and kind of.
Well, and if they do, well, that's their opinion. But honestly, let's be honest. It's a kid show. So, and if kids are liking it, hey, then they like it.
Maybe we could ask some people to make a grown-up.
Oh, I'm sure they're going to. I'm sure we're going to get some more future live action movies. In fact, I think that's what's coming in the next couple of years. And they'll redo the mythology and everything. But I think if you enjoy what you enjoy, keep enjoying it and share it. And really, I think if you're a real Turtles fan, Turtles, Ninja Turtles fan, you're going to encourage anybody to look at whichever episode they like, whichever version they like, and continue to enjoy it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because if you're a Turtles fan, you want other people to be Turtles fans as well. You want them to support it. So, go back and draw pictures or have comments about your other versions, about the newer versions. But let's keep it positive. Let's enjoy it. Let's just enjoy it because we're going to get something different. Something else is going to come down. When they're done with doing Rise, they're going to come out with a new version. Hopefully we all enjoy it too because it's Ninja Turtles and we love this property. We love these turtles. We love these stories. We love these characters. Do you have a Bebop eating a piece of bacon?
See.
Alright, that's sick. That's real sick. That's sick.
But he's a human. He's not really a big mutated.
I know, but that's just sick.
But he has these.
Okay, if you love Ninja Turtles, just encourage others. I mean, that's it. Enjoy Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles are great. We've gotten some versions that people like more than others, and but I think as a community, we all come together. We all enjoy it. We share stuff with each other. If you don't like the new stuff, that's cool. I mean, that's on you. It doesn't. Nobody needs to be forced into liking or not liking something. I think you just enjoy what you enjoy. For us, we really enjoy basically almost anything Ninja Turtles. It's just if it's new, if we haven't seen it before, it's interesting to take it in a new direction. I think is interesting to go back and look at the old stuff that we really enjoy. It takes us back and we get to enjoy that in that moment and then try the new stuff as well. So we encourage everybody to do the same thing. Enjoy yourselves. I hope you guys, if you want to leave us a comment and let us know what you guys think about what we said. I know everybody's passionate about their opinion. That's cool too. But really, go out there and enjoy Ninja Turtles. Any version of Ninja Turtles that you like, enjoy it. Enjoy it?
Yeah, enjoy it.
So what do you think they should do?
Give us a like and comment down below what was your favorite Ninja Turtle that we probably missed, and you can tell us what series we missed here.
You can follow us on Instagram and on Twitter, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and we'll see you guys soon.
Bye!